Right now. I'm getting everything set up right now. Right now. Okay. How are we doing today? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. It's about that time, guys. It's about that time. It's about that time. How are we doing today? We doing all right. Let's see here. It's actually about that time. Mhm. How have you guys been doing? How are you feeling? How you feeling? How are you doing? Okay, today is I.R.I.S. Sunday, so we're gonna do our get our daily reading done. I'm setting up the before on TikTok, getting us together right now. Welcome in. Hi, Alwan. Hi, Cheers 21. Hi, Mickey. How are you? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Katie. Is it Katie or Katie? Katie Mar, how are you? Welcome in. I'm Coach Kenya. And it is time for our reading. I do this every single day. I've taken off, I think, days so far, but we have been doing it for exactly 108 days. Today is I.R.I.S. Sunday, so I'm excited, so excited to bring to you today's reading. I office support to anyone who's on any form of a better health and wellness to help magnify, grow, and enhance your mindset, your mental health, as well as to address any issues that you may have with your relationship with food, with people, places, or things. I myself have lost over 479 pounds naturally. No, I did not have surgery to lose weight because I've been fat twice. The second time, unfortunately, I got really sick, had a reversal, and ate myself to 592 pounds in 10 months from depression and anxiety, at which I was given 30 days to live. At that time, I was placed on hospice, tubes running all out of my body, and we began to plan my funeral. I myself wrote my own eulogy, the poems to my funeral, picked out the songs. I even went as far as picking my own casket um, and planning to die. I can tell you that the emotional turmoil that I was living in is what made it so easy for me to quit. I can also tell you that the pain and the disconnect that I had related to food and obesity and wellness almost walked me into my grave. And so I make a choice regularly, well, here to help offer women an option and information, knowledge, and access to the best way to do this thing. There's thousands of ways to drop pounds, but the best way is to include your mindset. You didn't hear me say that other ways was the wrong way. I said the best way is to ensure that you include your mindset. One of the biggest misconceptions. Hello, Silver Green. How are you? Beautiful, beautiful. Well, are handsome because I can't see your profile picture. I don't have my glasses on. Let me get those. Actually, hold on. Let's do that. So I can read y'all's comment because sometimes I can't read them because I can't see. So let's make it where I can actually successfully see you guys. Wouldn't that be nice? Look at God. Look at God, Chucks. Look at God. What up, Vito? Look at God, Allie. Look at God. Look at God, Alicia. Look at God, Shay. Look at God. Okay, how is that, you guys? Now, I can see your comments, and you can. Well, you always could see me, but I couldn't see you that well. I actually need glasses. Okay, I'm not wearing them because I'm cute. Okay, I'm wearing them because I can't see, but I'm in denial. Okay, I like to call it visual denial. I refuse to believe that at 46 I really need reading glasses. Okay, I cannot read the words. I can see, but I can't read small print. I have to call the kids and be like, read the directions on the back of this to me, and I have to give it to them. Now, never in my life that I thought that would be my story, but I am considered a middle-aged woman, so it is what it is. We won't complain too much. We'll move forward. Good afternoon, Rolex. Thank you guys so much for the likes. I appreciate you. Echo Morales, welcome in. User 304, welcome in. Miss Mr. Cranford, is that right? Cranford. Welcome in this afternoon. We are looking at 11:59 a.m. in Arizona. We are looking at 2:59 p.m. on the East Coast. We are looking at 1:59 Central. So welcome in from all time zones, and I believe it is about uh that's three. So it's about 10:59 in Ghana. Miss Kiki, how are you? So welcome in. Miss Shauna, welcome in. If you're new, just tap the like button. It lets me know to greet you. It lets me know to tell you about me, who I am. So you're just not looking at some random bald-headed lady talking about be encouraged, be motivated. I do what I do because I've seen the darkest of dark, the lowest of low, and the saddest of sad. Silver green, thank you so much, gorgeous. Silver gem, I'm sorry. What I can tell you is that my obesity took me to the pits of hell and back. What I can tell you is my TR, my moderators are in the building. What I can tell you is that the sadness stole my soul and the pain took my heart. And it wasn't until I realized that I was in a deep, dark hole, it was almost too late. I do this because I don't want it to be almost too late for anybody else. You understand? The pain inside of my head and heart was why I was able to eat myself to 592 pounds. I'm not big boned. It doesn't run in my family. I mean, fat runs in my family because we all eat bad. Because my mother passed down all her bad habits to us, and we passed all our bad habits down to our kids. Not because it's genetic. There's no genetic marker for that. But there's a behavioral marker for that. There's a cultural marker for that. There's an ethical marker for that. But there's no behavioral market for that. Right. And so essentially what ends up happening is we say, well, I knew I was going to get this because my mama had it. It's genetic. No, your blood pressure, there's no genetic link to blood pressure. There's a environmental, cultural, and generational link to it, though, because our parents teach us what they did, and we teach our children what they did. That's why you, your mama, your mama's mama, your mama's mama, and your aunties all have hypertension, right? It's because the actual lifestyle, we pass it down, cultural, generational, and environmental. We pass those aspects of wellness down to one another. And in the process, what we think is genetic is actually behaviors that we were raised up around and show that they were normal. And as part of our normalcy of functioning in our daily living, we taught those same things to our children. As a matter of fact, I can tell you three things that I taught my daughter, and I actually told her, well, my mama told me it was right, so I don't know, just do it. Because my mama told me, right? And her mama told her. So it doesn't matter the effects of what my mama told me might be causing. It's because my mama told me. Do you understand? You understand? I don't have hypertension, but the women in my family that still eat like my mama cooked, they all take blood pressure pills. But I don't eat the way my mama taught us to cook. I don't cook like that no more. I don't have fried chicken 5 days a week. I don't convenience a lot of fast food restaurants. I don't buy a bunch of junk and all of that no more. I can have it and not eat it. There was a time when I couldn't do that. My mom could eat a whole pack of pecan sandies and I could too, because I used to watch her do it. Do you understand? It wasn't that my mom genetically gave me diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and what all did I have diagnosis? I had congestive heart failure, no, I didn't have cholesterol. So I take it back. I had congestive heart failure. I had chronic, really bad asthma. I have a rare clotting disease, which that part is real. It is a genetic link in my body for that. So we'll leave that one out. I was getting pricked for diabetes. I was taking 6 medications for my heart. I was taking 8 for blood pressure. Okay, I was taking 63 pills a day. Okay, for the diseases that they told me I genetically inherited from my mother. So if I genetically inherited, I wanted to know like why. So what happened is I start asking different questions at the doctor and at the naturopath. And then I start doing research because I wanted to know where the genetic marker for these diseases that people claim that I got genetically, but there was no genetic link. So I started thinking, well, I eat just like my mom. And my mom has to take pills for her blood pressure. My mom fried everything prior to her heart attack. So she taught us to cook like that. Right? So it only makes sense. I was on 4 or 5 blood pressure pills and 6 heart pills because I was on the same amount of medication my mom was on. for the same things because I cook like her, I grocery shop like her, I live like her, I was not active like her. I did everything in the same manner that my mother did it as an adult. The older I got, the more like her I was, the more in habits, in cooking, in eating, in cleaning. You understand what I'm saying? So it didn't matter that the doctor told me I shouldn't be eating a lot of trans fats. I still was frying foods, eating macaroni and cheese, collard greens with fat back and salt pork and all that in there, not realizing that it wasn't that I was eating it one time. It's that that's what I'm eating every day, all the time. Do you understand? It wasn't that I was eating a fat back and a pot of collard greens, macaroni and cheese, fried chicken, baked roast with potatoes, cabbage, carrots, all of that. It's just all one meal. Understand me. My mother cooked 3 meats for hi, I'm a licensed nail tech. Hello, Miss Touch. How are you? My mother cooked 3 meats. Okay. She cooked 3 meats. And then she cooked 4 sides and she cooked 2 breads. And that was one meal. Okay. All the butter and the flour and the cornstarch that she used to thicken up the gravy in the pot roast, like took away the fact that the pot roast might have not been that bad for me. But after I put everything in it that she had you cook with it, it took away the nutritional value and just made it taste good. You see what I'm saying? It says, let me read the comments, you guys. I'm sorry about that. Thank you so much, Virgin Mother Follow. It's taught how to get those sicknesses. Yes, they teach us how to get those sicknesses, and now we have to learn how to lose those traits. Yes, TR, the best wording I've heard yet. We're taught how to get those sicknesses, and we have to learn. Okay, we have to actually learn how to remove those traits. We have to learn, like we have to actually learn. Like for a long time, I was one of those people. I hated the gym. I hated working out. I hated moving my body. Blah 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 blah. But I would get up every day and damn near my back to run to work and work for somebody else. Did y'all just hear that? I didn't want to work out. I didn't want to do anything that would fortify my actual health. But I got up every day, Monday through Friday, 8, 12, 14, 16, 11 hours and humped around for somebody else. And when I dropped sick, I almost died. I didn't even get a damn card in the hospital. Make it make sense. But no, I didn't want to go to the gym. I didn't want to work out. I didn't want to ensure that regardless if that job had me or not, that I had me. You better take note. This is for somebody. I was ripping and running down there, killing myself for that job, but did not have myself and didn't have a backup plan. Killing myself, over helping, over helping, overdoing, over volunteering, over serving. And when I needed to be served, I needed to be over helped. I needed to be overdone. Nobody could find me. All my work friends was busy, but I got up every day and ran to that job. And when I needed that job to run for me, no job ran for me. You understand me? This is so me. God sending all the gems today. Hey, yes, listen, Lux Visionary. Listen. You guys, listen. I literally was out of work for 14 weeks after daggone there killing myself at the job. I will go to work with oxygen tank in a wheelchair every day to serve my clients in the mental health industry, to work to counsel my therapeutic severely mentally. Would do anything for that job. Do anything for that job. And as I laid up in hospice, in the very state in which I would do anything for that job, not one person from that job found me, and I was there for almost 15 years. Mocha! I'm missing tons of comments. Let me get into y'all. It's okay. Happy Sunday, Jazz. Yes, Pamela, it's so true. Because look, we so worried about money that we forget that if we dead, it ain't money. And if we laid up in a hospital from overdoing it, overrunning, over being, over serving, over proving, over healing, over giving, you're gonna be laid up in the hospital and have no money anyway. But that don't even be coming in our mind. When we out here sacrificing our soul, climbing up on the sacrificial lamb, we don't be thinking about that. See me serve you, see me sacrifice me for you, see me sacrifice, see me. And then when we need somebody to sacrifice, there's nobody sacrificing. And then we bitter, mad, upset, and wondering why nobody did what we needed them to do because we had expectations based on our service, not based on our heart. Because we do all that at a job because we expect them to acknowledge us and to see us and hopefully give us a raise. But if you go ask for a raise, they'll tell you there ain't no money in the company, but they still express you to come with the same pressure. That same energy is in some of y'all's relationships, lives, and families. You over serving, you overdoing, you over being, you over fixing, you over helping, and you're mad when no one shows up for you in that same manner. But you set it up like that. That's why they call it codependency, because you become dependent on the accolades you receive from sacrificing your own self on the cross. But what happens is when you get tired of sacrificing yourself and you say no, now the world is mad at you for not giving your last, because you usually give your last and you leave yourself out in the dirt, dirty cold. See, you to trash out back with the garbage can while serving everybody else the fresh food in the front. But you mad when nobody else gives you their first, but you willing to give up your first and your last to only have nothing for yourself. And you say, oh Lord, why me? Why people keep doing me like this? Why they keep taking my stuff? Why ain't nobody got my back? It's because you set it up like that. See, you gave this impression based on your actions and behaviors that you didn't need to be validated. You gave this impression based on your actions and your behaviors that you was the strong one. You gave this impression based on your behaviors that you had it all together. You was always pushing it out. So now you ain't got nothing to push. You wonder why ain't nobody pushing out nothing for you. You set the tone. See, if I don't stand up for myself in situations, I'm setting the tone. So when it happens the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th time, I've set the tone for that situation to keep occurring. If I don't change my tone in that situation, it will not change because I initiated the foundation. Hold it. Let me get the reading. All right. So true. Happy Sunday, Jazz. That's my baby. TR said, my grandmother was one generation from explantation. Follow this. From explantation mother, and that is all she knew. Do y'all hear this? Some of the things that we actually live by were derived from our parents, so that they could survive what they were enduring, such as slavery. Some of the things and belief systems that we refuse to let go of today as a black and brown people are the things that our generations before us needed to survive slavery. Okay. So some of the things that we actually believe is culturally bound to our culture is bound based on the abuse that our mothers were enduring. Therefore, the history of it is from pain. Follow me. What's the concept here? The commonality. We all have pain in common. So if I hold tight onto something I learned from my mother that has been derived from my mother's pain, then I'm living on the pain of the past. Therefore, I may not lower my guard. I may not open my arms. I may not widen my heart. I may have been taught to hate, dislike, refuse, not accept, because I'm living on the past pain of the parent that raised me. Oh, you know what? Y'all ain't ready for today. Not generational. Y'all might not be ready for this thing. It's this talk I give on generational healing. Generationally inherited pain and myths. We inherit generational pain that have myths attached to them that do not apply and work diabolically for the day we in today. Okay? Okay, you know what? Let me keep on. Rich Rising Smoker, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. TR says, let me get the comment, you guys. Not knowing the harm, we had to learn the outcome to no longer pass it down. Yep, because we didn't know. So programming, amen. Yes, Luxury Victor said, my God, my God, my God, giving you more work, but the same money. And then don't be good at your job. When somebody quit, they literally in the back room talking about how they going to let you know that they going to give you the workload that somebody else left behind. Because you've proven yourself. Meanwhile, you swollen, tired, ain't sleeping at night, kids is struggling, you struggling, relationships struggling, but you at work, happy to help Polly. Let's keep going. We need each other. Pamela, what you said, to build good communities and good health. because the thing where it's like it's certain things that as I've gotten older, when I used to hear when I was little, I didn't know what they meant, but now I know. Thank you so much, Mocha. Like this one, check this out, like this one. For lack of knowledge, the people will perish. I know that I ate myself to 592 pounds because of lack of knowledge. I know that some of the decisions I've made in my life that have ended out in total turmoil and my potential death was based on lack of knowledge. Choices I have made that have altered my life, my body, my medical conditions forever, I made for lack due to lack of knowledge. If you don't know that the food that you're purchasing in the store has limited nutrition, then how are you going to know the supplement? If we don't know that the food is incapable of producing a certain amount of nutrition because of the soil in our country that we live in, and that it's mandatory that we supplement, how are we gonna know the supplement? How are we gonna know as women that we need a certain amount of vitamins to be in our body? Huh? How are we gonna know that? For lack of knowledge, the people perish. But you perish. For lack of knowledge, you perish. For lack of seeking the knowledge yourself. See, that's the other problem. Is some of us don't think to go fact check. I'm the most fact checking person in the world. If you tell me something more about it, if I regurgitate it, trust and believe. I've trust and believe. I don't have one lab. I have three. I have three because one is only for research. All the articles, all the major universities, all the accredited research, scientifically backed universities, all of them. Why? Because I will no longer walk around here minus the knowledge that I need to exist on this earth. Uh-uh. Nada. You do what you want to. Okay. You do what you want to. But for me, on this I.R.I.S. Sunday with Coach Kenya, for me on this I.R.I.S. Sunday, because I never want to go back to where I came from. I never want to do that again. The diabolicalness thing. Oh no, my baby's back live. The diabolicalness. I never want to go back. In order for me not to go back, I have to be willing to do the work to obtain the knowledge and access to the things I need to enhance my life. And you should do the same. You don't got to do what I do. Look, one thing for certain and two things for sure. Let me tell you a story about me. About 2000, in 2016, after using isogenics for 2 years, I became an associate in isogenics, right? I've been in the company all this time. This is how funny people are. Because I am not in the forefront of the company and I've lost over 400 some pounds, people think I don't use the product no more. See, that's the funny thing about life. People assumed that I no longer use the product. People assumed things that were 100% horribly untrue. But never I digress. I wasn't worried about them because I didn't come to this company for them. See, the difference in me and other people is many of y'all move on the backs of others, not I, said the big bad Billy Goat. That's why I've lost 479 pounds and kept it off. While all the other people that did this thing when I did it have gained a multitude of weight back. You know, I told them then, I'm telling you now, if you start this thing for other people, you will end up in the same place you are in 5 to 6 years. It's been 10. You know why? Because see, I've been fat twice. See, I've always tried to do this thing for other people and landed myself up in hospice. You see, you can't do this thing for nobody else. And you can't even do this thing just because you want to be smaller. You got to do this thing because you want to be whole all the way around. It has to be a desire of a 360-degree transformation, switch and change within you. Because you can be a skinny hot mess or you can be a big hot mess. You decide. Okay, you decide. I chose healthy. I want to be a healthy hot mess. Okay, I want to be connected. I made a choice that I will no longer, never, ever, ever in a red-legged life on a long-legged seller with a long-legged wife put anyone else before me. See, I'm priority. Yeah, you can't get me sad enough to eat over the You pull me through. You can say all you want to. That's not going to make me overeat no more. You can reject me. That's not going to make me overeat. You can deny me. That's not going to make me overeat. You can shut me down. That's not going to make me overeat. You can even talk about me in my face, behind my back, and to my bestest friend. And guess what? I'm going to say, it is well. God bless you. You know why? Because I understand one thing is certain and two things for sure. When all the lights cut off and it's all dark, the same person that got all that to say about me got their own bull crap to deal with, and I ain't worried about it. Because the more you worried about somebody else, that means they ain't got to worry about themselves. I've declared and decreed that if I'm so special that I am filling your brain space, this is what I want to tell my queens that always talk about they. What are they gonna say? What they gonna do? This is what I want you to think about they. If they is sitting around consumed with how amazing and powerful God has made you, then this less worrying you shall have to do for yourself. That's less worrying you have to do about yourself. You get it? You see? See, you change how you look at things and things begin to look changed. Change how you look at things and things begin to look changed. I had one of my clients, she's always worried. She says, people always staring at me. They always looking at the clothes I have on. I said, have you ever thought about the fact that your self-esteem is so low that when you go into the room of other women, you're comparing yourself to them and you think they're saying those things? And she said, what? I said, have you ever thought about the fact that maybe your self-esteem is lower than you think? And what happens is when you go in a room, you start picking all the other women apart and comparing yourself, and then you introspect that. I don't know what that means. I said, think about it. How do you know people are watching you when you go in a room unless you're staring at them? I don't know what you mean. I said, you keep telling me every time you go somewhere, people won't stop staring at you. So how do you know they're staring at you unless you are looking at them? Hey, Roddy. She said, I never thought about that. How not? I said, so you went to an event. You said people were staring at you, but it wasn't because you were staring at them. I'm just putting my glasses back on that one. Think about it. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you for the love. Thank you for the gifts. Think about what I just said. Do y'all realize the only way we were worried about who they are when we don't even know who they are? Have you ever? Well, I don't want them to say nothing. Have you ever realized they is not a person? They is a figment of your imagination. That's your fear. They are gonna say something. They might be mad if I do that. They gonna be jealous. Who is they? Have you met them? Have you seen them? What they look like? Where they live at? Who is they? If you can go find me they and bring them back, I would appreciate you. But what happened in my mindset is I realized that a lot of things I was saying and living on and believing were conjured up and made up in my own mind based on my victimized life that I had lived from being through so much trauma and pain. That some of the stories I was telling myself and living through was this pain that I had shielded around my eyes so I could only see so far in front of me. And at that visionary thing was victimization. Because no matter what you did, somehow it came back to me being the victim. Even when something's my fault, somehow it came back to, well, if that hadn't happened to me when I was this, then I probably wouldn't feel like that. When we letting it go. For me. Yep, all those things that happened to me are real. I wrote a book about it. I'm a best-selling author and have been for the last 9 years. You understand what I'm saying? I had to decide if I was going to be a victim for the rest of my life or a victor. Would I use every reference of what happened to me before as a reason why my life today is not where I want it to be? Will I use all the things from the past as a reason for me not to excel, not to go above, not to reach out, not to go back to school, not to go to another relationship, not to start a new job, not to quit working with those people, not to leave them people alone, not to abandon them? There was always this thing. I mean, I don't know. I ain't talking about nothing. Today's reading. Mm, mm, mm. Today's reading. I'm staying focused. Don't worry. I know. I'm on the time. I'm on my time. I get 23 minutes on Sundays to do my motivational speaking, and then I get 15 minutes to read. I'm at my 20-minute mark. All right. I don't want Tia to jump on me and tell me we done. So I'm gonna stay on track today. Hello, Miss Beverly. Hello, Bridget. Hello, Ellen. How are you? Hello, Maria. So is it Mariah or Maria? Maybe I'm saying the name. Hi, is it Jazzy? Jazzy. Hey, Bonnie. How are you? Hi, Warrior Mom. I'm gonna stay on task. But if it was for you, catch it, pray on it, Google it if you need to. But if it was for you, don't just be inspired. Y'all know that's my rule here. I don't need you to be inspired. I'm not coming. I don't need you to be inspired. I do not need you to be inspired. I need you to hear that, okay? I don't need to inspire you. You're already inspired. I need you to act. Understand what I'm saying to you? I can inspire you all day and all night long. That's why I don't tell you guys to drop gifts for me to share more, to give you more nuggets. That's why I don't say, oh, tap the like button and I'll give you the nuggets. Tap the like button and keep tapping. The reason why I don't do that is because I need you to get in action. I need you to leave here and then I need you to go do something about that situation of yours. I need you to get up every day and do something about it. Because if I only inspire you to tap a like button, then I have not done my job. I have not done my job. I have not done my purpose. I have not stood in purpose. I have not stood in purpose. Mm-mm. It must incite action. I told somebody yesterday in a text message, I was texting them. I was irritated with my assistant. I was texting them and I said, it must ignite fire within you consistently. And she said, what's that mean? I said, it must expose oneself to the point where action is the only option. Hear me and hear me well. I need you to be motivated into activity and that activity to be consistent enough to whatever your goal is. We are in constant pursuit on a regular, consistent basis. You're here because you encourage yourself to be present. Now take what you leap, leap. A lot of women will come up in my live and they'll say, you came up with my FYP and I had been praying and you said the exact things I was praying and I knew you was the coach for me. It wasn't because I was ready, but it was because God was ready for me to be ready. They would tell me things like that. I never used to know what that means. And then I realized it's because in my space, I can give you guys, I give actual scientific back weight loss tips. I don't go out and find you some fun, but I actually do the work for you. But that's all in well and good. You don't do nothing with it. Yeah. My clients call my program Weight Loss University because I give you all the psychological and educational tools, scientific studies on food noise, food addictions, cravings, GLP, weight loss surgery, pre and post. I walk you through a system of how to understand those things in everyday living. Okay. I do that because we are missing the option to bring our mindset to play. Faith without works is dead. Come on, Pamela. You better drop that. Pamela, you better talk about it, mamas. You better talk about it, mamas. Thank you so much thank you for sharing the live. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like example, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna know. I know it's true about 10 of y'all women in these lives. 10 of y'all women in these lives know so much about weight loss and the programs that y'all individually been on that you could run your own facility. Okay. I didn't say you can help other people lose weight. I said run a facility. I run a facility. I run an agency that's affirming for a coaching firm. So it's actually a firm. It's a team of people that clinically work with clients to address weight loss on a therapeutic basis. We offer coaching guided therapeutic weight loss for your mindset, your body, and your mental health, meaning we support certain areas that other weight loss, like if you're on the GLP, you wouldn't get this service on a GLP because it's not medical, it's mental health services, right? And we're still arguing obesity is a disease. We're still fighting literally. We're still fighting literally with the medical society that this is a disease that needs to be honored in both medical and mental health arenas. I am one of those individuals fighting for it to be seen as a mental health arena so that people can get lifetime, long term counseling, therapy, and psychiatric support and medications if needed for the mental health portion that sometimes is disconnected and connected in food. I stand on my platform and argue that if we provide facilities and agencies for those who suffer from things such as bulimia and anorexia, then we need to provide those same mentally health based facilities for people who struggle with obesity. I stand firm on my platform that everyone that needs to lose weight and that is overweight is not crazy or lazy. I stand firm on the understanding that there is something more going on in about 60% of those struggling with chronic obesity and weight loss. I stand firm on that. So I come and I bring the knowledge and I bring the information so that it may incite action and movement within you. And as a result, you get the ideal life you dream of. You get the ideal circumstances, the ideal health, the ideal wellness, or whatever your goal or vision is that you desire. Hi. We don't all want the same thing, but we might all want the same thing. You know, most people say, I don't need to be rich. I just want to be healthy. I want to be able to move around. I want to be able to do A, B, and C, and D. Right? Most people don't need to have all these things. We just need to get our foot in a space where we can get what we feel is ours. So I hope that something I share you take can incite that for you and get you there. And in the name of Jesus, we pray. Day 108. It is written, when a prophet speaks in the name, when the prophet speaks in the name of the Lord, if the thing does not happen or comes to pass, that is the thing which the Lord has not spoken. The prophet has spoken it presumptuously. You shall not be afraid of him. Deuteronomy 18 and 22. Principle. Fearful words spoken by man and not from attaining your goals. Fearful words spoken by men cannot stop you from attaining your goals. When people speak negative over you and tell you how you ain't gonna be able to do something, or you can't do something, or it's not possible to do something, this book says, not coach, not me. It says that they cannot stop you from attaining your goals. That man may speak it, but if God has it for you, then it's for you. Prayer. I refute every fearful word ever spoken against me in Jesus' name. Mhm. I press forward to attain my glorious goals in spite of fearful opposition in Jesus' name. I press forward to attain my glorious goals in spite of fearful opposition in Jesus' name. I press forward to attain my glorious goals in spite of fearful opposition in Jesus' name. I remember when I first started taking the shakes in my feeding tube, and I had read so much about those feeding tubes getting clogged, so I was scared to let them put anything in there other than what the hospital said goes in there, the TPN, right? But what was happening was I was so malnourished is that no matter what they would put in there, my numbers wasn't changing. Like I was literally dying. I was getting sicker. And when Trisha asked me about the shake, I thought, well, how can I put it? How's that gonna work? Right? So when I originally started it, I tasted it. It was okay. But it wasn't really until I was able to fully ingest the shakes through the feeding tube that it really began to show a result of me feeling better from the toxins, right? Um, in the first 6 months, the hardest thing was I kept telling myself there's no way I'm ever gonna get out of this bed. My legs don't work. It doesn't matter how much weight I lose, I'm still gonna be stuck in this bed. Because my mentality and the evidence was showing me that no matter what I did, I wasn't going to get better. And because people kept telling me I wasn't going to get better, I believed in my mind that there was no other option for me. Do y'all get that? Because other people, fearful words spoken by man cannot stop you from attaining your goals. Because other people told me I was going to die, I believed that I was going to die. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I believe that what they were saying were fact over God. So because doctors said 26 of them to be exact that I would die, I just went with I was going to die. So I began to act like a dying person. I began to overindulge in eating like I was dying because they said I was dying. And I even told my friend Trisha, it's okay, I'm gonna die with a full stomach. Just the unhealthy and disease in that statement all by itself is shameful. That as a licensed person, that I'm not licensed anymore, but at the time had just retired. So to be that fresh out of my career of almost 15 years in the mental health industry for working with pedophilia, and that was my like, it was like I had no knowledge or education, y'all. It was literally like I didn't know no better. I was doing it like I didn't know any better. That's what I'm trying to explain to y'all. I was like, I was literally moving like I had no education in terms of what happens to the body when you chronically overeat, when you sit and eat a bunch of stuff. You're not like I was literally even like I had lost all senses of how a normal person acts. I would get mad at people if they wouldn't bring me food. The way I was behaving is repulsive. It's disgusting to talk about it. I very rarely talk about it out of my recovery meetings because it's so sad of how dark of a hole I was in and I could not get out. I wanted out, but I couldn't. I wanted it, but I couldn't. I really wanted it, but I couldn't. I didn't want to eat the food or eat that much or crave that much or any of that, but it was to a point where I felt like I had lost everything and the only thing that I hadn't lost was food. And so it made it easier to keep eating. Um, I can remember eating at times where I wasn't even hungry, but I would be emotionally not comfortable. And so the chewing would calm the and I'm trying to recall that feeling right now, even, right? Just to share with you that sometimes I would just be chewing because of the anxiousness in me was so high that the chewing calmed me down. Right? You see, it wasn't just about what I ate, it was what was happening in my brain as it soothed my body. Hi, what I'm trying to explain is the food addiction thing I talked to you guys about. It's not just, oh, I crave food and then I eat it. There was something physiologically occurring for me in my emotional center, right? When I ate. Hey, arguments, fights, disagreements, if I made a mistake, it would raise that same emotion in my body, and so I would need to eat. Right? Can anybody relate? Can anybody relate? If a situation felt too out of control, I would find myself sitting eating a bag of chips. Hey. Yep, mental discouragement is will. When we think we positive, we do positive things. We are important. Yep, 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 yep. Yes. So here we go on our second reading. I'm on it, baby. March 23rd. Melanie Beatty. This is our second book. Yep, I love eating a bag of chips. And for some reason, at the end of them chips, I feel like my spirit is free. That's how I know it's not right. Because no bag of potato chips should make me feel that much joy at the end. I don't care how good it is. That's how I know my brain has made the wrong link up with food, right? This is how I identify the link is incorrect because I'm not eating to fuel my body. I'm eating to fuel my body. Catch it. I'm not eating to fuel. I'm eating to feel. Mm. Second book, Melody Beatty, Journey to the Heart, Daily Affirmations. Yep, Pamela. Exactly, Pamela. Pamela, you was meant to be in here today, Pamela. Pamela, you was meant to be here. Welcome in. Welcome to the family. Comfort yourself. I was driving through Montana on my way to a town on a Flathead Indian reservation. I was going there because an old hotel opened in 1928, noted for its medicinal mineral waters, had caught my attention. As I pulled off the highway and began to drive down the side roads, I felt an environmental ambiance I hadn't experienced before. The hills were huge mounds covered with soft green grassy moss, not steep, sharp mountains, comforting rounded hills, one after the other. A gentle energy emanated from them. It was more than love, more than kindness. I felt comforted, embraced, always held by my Mother Earth in her bosom. My body relaxed, my spirit soared. I felt warm, cared for, nurtured, comforted. Comfort is a place we visit often as we need to. Although certain places are and objects help comfort us, it is really a place within us, within each of us. Some of us may have thought that comfort was a waste of time, but now we know that there is tremendous power in comfort, the power to heal. We no longer have to deprive ourselves of comfort, of that warm feeling of being nurtured. We can visit it for ourselves. We can take others with us, there with us. What brings you comfort? What makes you feel safe, cozy, warm, loved? What places? What people? What events? Learn to comfort yourself. Learn to accept comfort and learn to give it. Go to that special place of comfort whenever you need to. Stay as long as you wish. The healing power of comfort will make life better. How many people struggle with self comfort, like make calming yourself down? It was the hardest thing I learned. The hardest thing I think I learned on this whole journey was being able to sit still for 17 minutes. Right? About 17 minutes into every 25-minute meditation, it's I got to regroup. I got to call on Jesus. I got to num your rain gang, hallelujah, something, because baby, my thought get to racing at 17 minutes. But what I learned is something happens after I sit still so long. That's a battle for yeah, you guys, that comforting. Here's what I do now. I don't eat no more, but here's what I'll do. When I need to be comforted, and this may sound weird to some of you guys, but I just want to say, Cam, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, Cam. Oh my God, Cam. Um, Here's one of the things I do for comfort. I will, you see how the room, wait, okay, I got my background so I can tell. But when I'm anxious or feeling off, I'll come into a closed space. Now the space needs to be kind of small. So I'm down in the room right now, but if I was in Arizona, oh my gosh, Megan, I'm actually about to get off alive. I'm literally about to hang up, Megs. Literally, I'm finished. Oh, okay. You guys, okay, let me Megan, stay right there. Let me finish and invite yourself again. Let me at least do this and then I'll invite you in as a guest. One of the ways that I was able to ways I comfort myself, okay, this is the best way that I've done it, and it's worked for me over the last 10 years. But I'll come into a small space, make sure the space is warm. If it's cold, it won't work as well, but I make the room kind of warm. So I'm typically cold natured, so I go with warm nature, right? So I make the room kind of warm. Hi, first tips, make the room kind of warm. The thing I'll do is I'll put on a heating blanket or a blanket. Now the blanket needs to be soft because you need the blanket to feel like you're being coddled, like hugged, right? You know how you wrap a baby where you take the front and you tighten it? You're going to take the blanket and you're going to ball it in this wrist and pull and tuck under your left butt cheek. Other side and pull, tuck under right butt cheek. Just like being swaddled. All right? All right. Next, cut your gospel music should already be on. Well, whatever calms you, your relaxation music, whatever. Then the final and last thing I do is I gently sway and I close my eyes. And while I'm swaying, I'm talking to God. Right? And I do that because when I feel empty or I feel anxious, I don't want to go eat over it. And so I've learned to calm my own self. Hi, Cece. I've learned to calm. Hi, Tracy. I've learned to calm my own self down because if I don't, I will go choose one of my vices, right? And I don't want to choose those because I'm in recovery and I don't have to do that anymore, right? I have options, I have solutions, I have sponsors, I have readings, I have things I can do. I don't have to pursue the avenue of self abuse, self neglect, self reject anymore. I do not have to choose self abuse, self neglect, and self reject anymore. I have options and so do you. Okay. And maybe your thing may not be the blanket in the room and making it feel like you're being warm up, like, like you're being warmed and coddled. That might be your thing. Maybe you need to rock. Maybe you need to take a shower. Maybe you need to soak in the bath. But whatever makes your body's anxiety level decrease naturally without you using any form of eating or drinking to do it, it's good. Comforting is not when you go get a glass of wine. That's having to put a substance in you, which means that substance is going to change your mood. And that's not, you don't want that dependency. You don't want to go get food to do it either because it means you're using a substance to calm you. And if you do that, you're going to make the connection to that emotion. And every time that emotion comes up, you're going to want to eat that food. Okay. I was about to say it. My grandmother's favorite robe. Yep. My grandmother's favorite robe. Yep. See, so whatever calms you, you put that thing on and you go to that space and you calm yourself. A lot of adults, particularly grown people, they can't calm themselves down. They cannot self-regulate their emotions. That's why we spend so much time with our feelings hurt or being offended because we can't regulate our own emotions. Many of us are walking around waiting for our feelings to be hurt because that's how we think. People aren't always saying stuff to you and hurting your feelings. That's inside of you. That's you, actually. That's you taking everything people say and making it into something because it's already sitting out on your skin. Like I'm trying to explain it. Like, let me check in. If we are already sensitive about stuff and then we enter into situations, then everything will feel like it's on us or at us. I can't find the words for what I'm trying to explain right now. If you're not doing good and like say for example you go somewhere, you're gonna feel off. You know why? Because you're already looking for issues. Does that make sense? I'm trying to figure out how to word what I'm trying to say. Because you're already looking for something. So if you go somewhere and don't and can't regulate your emotions, then what happens is you actually end up having some form of offense, a microaggression or something. Why? Because your emotions are unsleeved. So naturally, if something rubs that raw emotion that's already exposed, it's gonna make you feel a certain type of way, and it's not a good way because the emotion was already kind of edgy. Does that make sense? I okay. Tomorrow's another day. Give me tomorrow. I'll try to explain it tomorrow. All right. We're at our time mark. We are officially at 45 minutes. We did a great job, guys. We finished it up. I didn't. Megan, you can come on in now. I didn't go over my 45 minutes mark. I'm excited about that, guys. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. I am out of here. Coach King is out the building. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining I.R.I.S.E Sunday with Coach Kenya and our daily reading. I'll see you all tomorrow, you guys. All tomorrow, same place, same time to do the same thing. God bless you. What up?